Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, and tonight we're on the red carpet at the New York premiere of Amazon Prime's newest show, Good Girls Revolt. We're chatting with all the stars, so get ready for a great night behind the velvet rope. So give me the backstory. What actually happened here?
1969, the first sexual discrimination lawsuit at News of the Week. It's where women would never be able to get promoted. They were only allowed to be researchers, and they could never be reporters, but they never really got any of the credit, but they did all the work. And so it's the first time that a group of people got together to sue a corporation for sexual discrimination.
There's a woman named Jessica Bennett who's currently a reporter for the New York Times, and she in 2009 was working at Newsweek and was paid less than the male interns who were hired at the same time, and was promoted more slowly than the male interns who were hired at the same time. So I just think it's a show that's set in 1969 that couldn't be more relevant.
You're the old guard on this show, man. You're the guy holding everybody, holding these female protagonists back, right?
Well, I'm not holding them back as much as, he's not a bad guy. He's not ignorant. I mean, he's the senior editor of Newsweek magazine. He's just holding on to what he knows. Just a certain protocol that has always been. But he starts to open up a little bit, which is great to see.
I played a young Nora Ephron, just starting out as a journalist. She was very fiery, very wise. She was a woman who lived her work, and yeah, very tough and smart, and I think would have a lot to say right now if she were still with us.
I play Finn Woodhouse. He's the editor-at-large of News of the Week magazine, and he's a great character, man. He's sort of straddling two generations. He's got the old guard mentality that he's been brought up with, but he's aware of and aroused by the notion that times are changing.
Talk to me about having a female-driven show, because we need more of those right now.
Yeah, well, we need not just about the subject matter, but also the people behind the cameras, because I think that when it comes to, everyone's talking about diversity, and that's great, but it's not just about who's in front of the camera. It's also it also matters who's controlling the narrative, who's telling the story, from the writer, directors, and execs or producers. So this is one of those projects where we had so many awesome women at the front lines of telling this story.
This is such an important story that I wasn't even aware of until this show. Talk to me about how this story changed the world, especially for women.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of it either, which I think is part of the importance of telling this story. I think it's important for young women today who are finding themselves in a climate where there is a certain whisperings and pressure to rise up and claim your equality, if you will, whether it be in the workplace or just in a social situation. And I think this show it needs to sort of serve as the reminder that these women went before them and set this as a precedent.
How relevant is this to today? Isn't it crazy?
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy and a little bit horrifying to me, because I feel like we like to think that we've come so far, and it's really just made me aware that fight is not done yet. But I actually was texting one of our castmates not too long ago being like, can you believe how relevant Trump has made our show?
There's so much potential in the show. There's some of the episodes that we filmed were very, very charged. There's a lot of political stuff that was happening. We've got three very, very wonderful actresses that are carrying this show. They have very, very different storylines, and I mean, I'm excited to see it just like everybody else is. I think it's going to be a really, really great thing, and I can't wait to just kind of see it unfold with the rest of the public.
So what everybody's getting with Good Girls Revolt is a portrait of News of the Week magazine in 1969. as they attempt to cover the Cultural Revolution sweeping the country. And at the same time that they're doing that, there's an incredible inequity at work in their office, which is that all of the women who worked at the real-life Newsweek magazine and at our lightly fictionalized News of the Week magazine were researchers, and all the men were reporters.
We were at Newsweek in the 60s as researchers, and only women were hired as researchers, and only men were hired as reporters and writers. And so we decided in 1970 to file a sex discrimination suit against Newsweek, and we were the first women in the media to ever do so.
I'll tell you this is a unique story about Lynn and all the women at Newsweek suing the Washington Post company that owned Newsweek. Because the owner of the Washington Post company was Katharine Graham, a woman. And my father was the sports columnist of the Washington Post for 75 years. And the law firm that defended the Post in the case was my brother's law firm.
Oh, these Poviches are trouble.
So when they came to my brother and saying, your sister is leading, along with others, many in this suit, what should we do? And my brother said, surrender. And they settled.
They did. And you know what? Lynn and her cohorts, these women had nowhere to meet. They had to gather somewhere in the ladies' room. Believe me, they were in the ladies' room, cooking up this unbelievably precedent-setting lawsuit.
Well, we're getting to see how women change the workplace by saying, well, we love working with you guys, but we'd like to be able to do the same jobs you do. And that started because of the women at Newsweek who sued for equal rights in the newsroom.
What brings you here tonight?
I am in business with TriStar. We are taking Equity, my film, and turning it into a TV series, and TriStar is our studio. Yeah.
I was just talking to you about the movie. Now they're making a TV show?
and now we're making a TV show.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's exciting, and I'm so excited to see Good Girls Revolt. I've been wanting to see it, having nothing to do with being in business with TriStar, so I love Chris Diamantopoulos. He's a dear friend. Anna Camp is insanely talented, and it looks like such an amazing show.